The silent invasion, Earth's first contact. The night sky above New York City blazed with an unprecedented meteor shower. Streaks of light painted the darkness, captivating millions of onlookers. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead astronomer at the Hayden Planetarium, knew this was no ordinary celestial event. Her eyes were glued to the real-time feed from the orbital telescopes, heart racing as she watched the impossible unfold. "They're slowing down," she whispered, voice trembling. "These aren't meteors." Within hours, the truth became impossible to hide. Sleek, obsidian objects, each the size of a small car, took up positions in low Earth orbit. Their movements were precise, deliberate. Earth's first contact with an alien civilization had begun, not with a message of peace or an overt attack, but with a silent, inscrutable presence that sent shockwaves through human society. Governments worldwide scrambled to respond. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session, militaries went on high alert, and civilians alternated between panic and awe. Social media exploded with theories, from doomsday predictions to hopeful speculations about benevolent visitors. In Washington, D.C., President Ilana Martinez stood before a hastily assembled press conference. Her voice, usually steady and commanding, carried a hint of uncertainty. "My fellow Americans and citizens of the world, as many of you have witnessed, unknown objects of clearly artificial origin have entered Earth's orbit. We are taking all necessary precautions to ensure global security. I urge everyone to remain calm and to trust in our ability to handle this unprecedented situation." Behind the scenes, frantic efforts were underway to establish communication with the visitors. Every radio frequency, every conceivable method of transmission was employed, broadcasting messages of peace and inquiry in countless languages. The aliens remained silent. Days passed. The objects, now numbering in the hundreds, maintained their orbital vigil. Earth held its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Dr. Chen found herself at the center of a global scientific effort to understand the visitors. Her team worked around the clock, analyzing every scrap of data they could gather about the alien probes. "Their technology is incredible," she explained to a room full of government officials and military brass. "The material of their hulls absorbs almost all electromagnetic radiation. That's why they appear so dark. But what's truly fascinating is their propulsion system. They're able to maneuver with a precision that defies our understanding of physics." General Marcus Harding, Joint Chiefs Chairman, leaned forward. "But what are they doing up there, Doctor? Are they scanning us? Preparing for an attack?" Samantha shook her head. "We can't be certain, but they seem to be waiting for something." As if on cue, alarms blared. A junior officer burst into the room, face pale. "Sir, we're detecting a massive energy surge from the objects." Hearts raced as everyone braced for an attack. Instead, a shimmering hologram materialized in the center of the room. A figure stood before them, humanoid but clearly alien. Its skin was a pale blue, with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and flow. Large, dark eyes regarded them with an unsettling intelligence. The alien spoke, its words translated by some unseen mechanism. "People of Earth, we come seeking sanctuary. Our world is lost, our civilization on the brink of extinction. We humbly request your aid." The room erupted in a cacophony of voices. Questions, demands, and exclamations of disbelief filled the air. Through it all, Samantha stared at the alien figure, her scientific mind racing with the implications. "Please," the alien continued, its voice carrying a note of desperation. "Time is short. The threat that destroyed our world follows close behind." President Martinez stepped forward, her voice cutting through the chaos. "We hear your plea, but we need to understand the nature of this threat. Why should Earth risk itself for your people?" The hologram flickered, and the scene changed. They watched in horror as a distant world, beautiful and clearly advanced, was engulfed in a storm of energy that seemed to consume everything it touched. Cities crumbled, oceans boiled, and the very fabric of reality appeared to warp and tear. "This is why we fled," the alien explained as the terrifying images faded. The Void Hunters, they do not conquer or subjugate. They annihilate, feeding on the very essence of civilizations. We are the last survivors of our kind, and we have traveled far in search of a people strong enough to stand against this menace. General Harding scoffed. And you think that's us? We've barely left our own planet. How could we possibly fight something that destroyed your advanced world? The alien's eyes seemed to bore into each of them, because you possess something rare in this galaxy: potential, adaptability. A spirit that refuses to yield in the face of impossible odds. We have observed your kind from afar for many of your years. You are young, yes, but you are fierce. Samantha found her voice. If this threat is as powerful as you say, how long do we have? The alien's form seemed to slump slightly. Months, perhaps. No more than a year by your reckoning. President Martinez straightened, her face set with determination. We'll need to confer with the other nations of Earth. This decision affects all of humanity. The alien nodded. We understand. But know this, whether you choose to aid us or not, the Void Hunters will come. They have sensed the potential of your world. You are now part of this conflict, willing or not. As the hologram faded, the room descended into tense silence. The weight of the galaxy seemed to press down on them all. Samantha's mind raced with equal parts terror and excitement. Humanity stood at a crossroads, facing a threat beyond imagination, but also an opportunity to leap forward into a larger universe. She knew the coming months would test humanity like never before. Outside, oblivious to the momentous meeting, people continued to gaze up at the night sky. The alien objects, once a source of fear, now took on a new significance. They were no longer just mysterious invaders, but refugees seeking help, heralds of a conflict that would soon engulf the Earth. As dawn broke over the horizon, humanity faced its greatest challenge. The silent invasion had become a desperate plea, and Earth's response would determine not just its own fate, but that of an entire civilization and perhaps the galaxy itself. The stage was set for a battle that would push humanity to its limits, forcing them to draw upon every ounce of ingenuity, courage, and determination they possessed. The laughably primitive Earthlings were about to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. The Galactic Refugee Crisis. In the weeks following the aliens' plea for help, Earth descended into a maelstrom of political debate, scientific frenzy, and social upheaval. The United Nations had become the epicenter of humanity's response, with delegations from every nation arguing passionately about the course of action. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight, her expertise in astrophysics suddenly crucial to understanding the alien refugees and the threat they fled. As she stood before the General Assembly, she felt the weight of billions of eyes upon her. The technology of our visitors, whom we now know call themselves the Alcanians, is centuries beyond our own, she explained, gesturing to holographic displays of the alien ships. Their faster-than-light travel alone could revolutionize our understanding of physics, but it's their warnings about the Void Hunters that we must heed most carefully. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices. Some nations advocated for immediately accepting the Alcanians and preparing for war. Others argued for sending the aliens away, hoping to avoid the coming conflict altogether. Ambassador Liu of China stood, his face stern. How can we trust these aliens? For all we know, they could be the real threat, manipulating us into a war of their making. Before Samantha could respond, a new voice cut through the din. Because we have nothing left to lose and everything to gain by telling the truth. All eyes turned to see Zara, the Arcanian representative, gliding into the chamber. Her ethereal beauty and grace captivated the assembly, but it was the sorrow in her large, dark eyes that silenced the room. We were once like you, Zara continued, her melodic voice tinged with sadness. Proud, divided, certain of our place in the universe. The Void Hunters shattered those illusions. They care nothing for our differences, our borders, our petty squabbles. They consume all equally. President Martinez, representing the United States, leaned forward. Even if we believe you, how can Earth hope to stand against a force that destroyed your far more advanced civilization? Zara's expression softened. Because you possess something we had lost. Adaptability. Creativity. A burning desire to overcome any obstacle. We've watched your species climb from the depths of your oceans, survive ice ages, and reach for the stars. You are young, yes, but also unbound by the constraints of ancient traditions and rigid thinking. As the debate raged on, humanity grappled with its newfound place in a larger, more terrifying universe. Cities around the world saw both pro- and anti-alien protests. Religious leaders sought to reconcile their faiths with the reality of extraterrestrial life. Scientists worked feverishly to understand and adapt Arcanian technology. In orbit, the first human-Arcanian cooperative efforts were underway. The International Space Station had been expanded rapidly, becoming a hub of cultural and technological exchange. Major Rachel Torres, an aerospace engineer turned diplomat, found herself at the forefront of this collaboration. It's incredible, she marveled, watching Arcanian engineers effortlessly manipulate gravity fields to move massive components into place. Their technology seems like magic. Her Arcanian counterpart, Kex, shittered in amusement. And yet, you humans have already begun to grasp its underlying principles. Your adaptability is truly remarkable. As Rachel opened her mouth to respond, alarms blared throughout the station. Earth's early warning systems, newly augmented with Arcanian sensors, had detected something at the edge of the solar system. "They're here," Kex whispered, fear evident in his multifaceted eyes. On Earth, the news spread like wildfire. The Void Hunters had arrived far sooner than anyone had anticipated. Panic gripped much of the population, but something else began to emerge, a steely determination that spread from person to person, nation to nation. In Washington, D.C., President Martinez addressed the world once more. "Citizens of Earth, the threat we were warned about has arrived at our doorstep, but we are not unprepared, and we are not alone. In the face of this challenge, humanity has come together in ways I never thought possible." She gestured to a group of world leaders and Arcanian representatives standing behind her. "Today, we announce the formation of the Earth Defense Alliance. Every nation, every resource, every mind will be dedicated to our survival and victory." As the speech concluded, the gears of Earth's war machine began to turn. Factories retooled to produce hybrid human-Arcanian weaponry. Militaries reorganized to incorporate alien tactical knowledge. And in laboratories around the world, scientists like Samantha Chen worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets that might give humanity an edge. But it was in the unlikeliest of places that a potential game-changer emerged. In a small research facility in Nairobi, Kenya, a team led by Dr. Amina Okafor made a startling discovery. "It's our junk DNA," she explained excitedly to a room full of skeptical colleagues. "The parts of our genome we thought were useless. They respond to Arcanian biotechnology in ways we never imagined. We might be able to enhance human capabilities far beyond normal limits." As word of Dr. Okafor's discovery spread, ethical debates erupted. The idea of fundamentally altering human biology was met with both enthusiasm and horror. But with the Void Hunters approaching, the pressure to use every possible advantage intensified. In orbit, the first skirmishes began. Small Void Hunter scout ships probed Earth's defenses, testing for weaknesses. The newly formed Earth Defense Fleet, a hodgepodge of human and Arcanian vessels, met them head-on. Captain Miguel Reyes stood on the bridge of the EDF Intrepid, Earth's first faster-than-light capable warship. As Void Hunter energy beams lanced past his vessel, he felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. "Evasive maneuvers," he barked, watching as his human and Arcanian crew worked in perfect synchronization. "Return fire." The battle was short but fierce. When the dust settled, Earth had won its first victory against the Void Hunters. It was small, barely a footnote in the larger conflict to come, but its impact on morale was immeasurable. As news of the victory spread, celebrations erupted around the world. For the first time since the Alkenians arrived, hope began to outweigh fear. Humanity had looked into the abyss of extinction and, instead of cowering, had chosen to fight. Dr. Chen watched the celebrations from her lab, a bittersweet smile on her face. They had won a battle, but the war was far from over. The real test was yet to come. "We've surprised them," Zara said, appearing silently beside her. The Void Hunters expected to find a primitive, helpless world. Instead, they've encountered a united planet ready to fight. Samantha nodded, her eyes fixed on the streams of data flowing across her screens. "Let's hope we can keep surprising them. We'll need every advantage we can get." As the first day of Earth's galactic war drew to a close, humanity stood tall. They had faced their fear of the unknown, extended a hand to alien refugees, and bloodied the nose of a seemingly invincible foe. The Void Hunters and the galaxy at large were about to learn a valuable lesson: never underestimate the tenacity, creativity, and sheer determination of the human spirit. The battle for Earth, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy, had only just begun. Humanity's unexpected arsenal. The Void Hunters' initial probing attacks had been repelled, but Earth knew the real assault was yet to come. In the months that followed, humanity raced against time, leveraging every scrap of Alkenian knowledge and their own ingenuity to prepare for the coming storm. Dr. Samantha Chen stood in the heart of the Global Defense Network's command center, surrounded by a dizzying array of holographic displays and chattering technicians. She watched as simulations of various defense scenarios played out before her eyes. "It's not enough," she muttered, frustration evident in her voice. Even with Alkenian tech, was still outgunned. Zara, the Alkenian representative, placed a comforting hand on Samantha's shoulder. "Perhaps, but you humans have a saying. Necessity is the mother of invention. Your species has already surpassed our expectations. What else might you create when pushed to the brink?" As if in answer to Zara's question, alarms blared throughout the facility. General Harding's gruff voice came over the comms. "Chen, get to Hangar 7. Now." Samantha and Zara rushed to the massive underground hangar, where they found a scene of controlled chaos. In the center stood a hulking machine that looked like a cross between a tank and a mech suit from science fiction. Dr. Amina Okafor, still wearing her lab coat, was practically bouncing with excitement. "We did it," she exclaimed. "The DNA enhancements, combined with Alkenian biotech and our own robotics. We call it the Titan Project." General Harding nodded approvingly. "How soon can we deploy?" "We're ready for the first field test now," Amina replied. "All we need is a pilot." All eyes turned to Major Rachel Torres, who had just entered the hangar. She stared at the Titan, a mix of awe and determination on her face. "I'll do it." As Rachel underwent the risky process of interfacing with the Titan, reports came flooding in of a massive Void Hunter fleet approaching Earth. The final battle was about to begin. In orbit, Captain Miguel Reyes and the Earth Defense Fleet prepared to meet the enemy head-on, but as the Void Hunter Armada came into view, a collective gasp went through the fleet. The enemy ships were enormous, dwarfing even the largest human Alkenian hybrid vessels. "My God," Reyes whispered, "how can we possibly?" His words were cut short as the first volley from the Void Hunters tore through space. Several Earth ships exploded instantly, their advanced shields proving useless against the overwhelming firepower. On the ground, Samantha watched in horror as the orbital battle unfolded on the command center's screens. "We need more time," she said, her mind racing. "The Titan isn't ready, and even if it was, it can't fight in space." Zara's eyes suddenly widened. "Wait, your planet's magnetic field. Could we use it somehow?" Samantha's fingers flew over her console as she ran calculations. Yes. If we can amplify it, create a massive electromagnetic pulse. It could disrupt their systems," Zara finished. "But the power requirements would be enormous." General Harding leaned in. "What if we use the entire planet? every power plant, every generator, all diverted to this pulse. For a moment, the room fell silent as the implications sank in. It would mean shutting down Earth's infrastructure completely, leaving them vulnerable if it failed. But the alternative was annihilation. President Martinez's voice crackled over the comms. Do it. What followed was perhaps the greatest cooperative effort in human history. As the battle raged in orbit, every nation on Earth coordinated to channel their entire energy output into the planet's magnetic field. In space, Captain Reyes and his dwindling fleet fought a desperate holding action. Just as all seemed lost, with Void Hunter ships pressing their advantage, a shimmering wave of energy burst forth from the Earth. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Void Hunter vessels suddenly lost power, tumbling helplessly through space. Their energy weapons sputtered and died. Now, Reyes shouted, all ships open fire. The Earth fleet, whose hardened systems had weathered the pulse, unleashed everything they had. Void Hunter ships, once seemingly invincible, exploded by the dozens. On the ground, shears erupted in the command center, but Samantha knew the victory was temporary. The pulse won't last long, she warned, and we can't do it again without frying every system on Earth. As if to confirm her fears, the remaining Void Hunter ships began to power up again, but instead of resuming their attack on the orbital defenses, they changed course, heading directly for Earth. They're going to land, General Harding realized. They want to finish this on the ground. This was the moment they had been preparing for. As Void Hunter dropships began to descend through the atmosphere, humanity's ground forces mobilized. Traditional military units fought alongside hastily trained civilian militias, all equipped with hybrid human-Arcanian weapons. In Hangar 7, the Titan came to life. Rachel's voice, slightly distorted by the neural interface, came through the speakers. Titan online, let's kick some ass. The massive mech suit burst out of the hangar, leading a charge against the Void Hunter ground forces. Its enhanced weapons and Rachel's augmented reflexes made it a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. All around the world, similar scenes played out. Humanity fought with everything they had, employing not just advanced technology, but age-old tactics and sheer determination. Guerrilla fighters in the Amazon used the dense jungle to ambush Void Hunter patrols. In the streets of Tokyo, civilians used makeshift weapons alongside military-grade plasma rifles. The Void Hunters, for all their technological superiority, found themselves unprepared for the sheer variety and creativity of Earth's defenses. They had expected to find a primitive world ripe for harvesting. Instead, they faced a united planet that refused to go quietly. As the battle raged, Dr. Chen made a startling discovery. The Void Hunters, she exclaimed, they're not just destroying, they're feeding on information, on culture, on the very essence of civilizations. Zara nodded grimly. It's how they've grown so powerful. They consume the knowledge and achievements of every world they destroy. An idea began to form in Samantha's mind. Then maybe we can use that against them. Overload them with information. As the tide of battle teetered on a knife's edge, with victories and setbacks on both sides, humanity prepared to unleash its most unexpected weapon yet, the full depth and breadth of human culture and knowledge, weaponized against an enemy that sought to consume it. The Void Hunters had come expecting an easy conquest. What they found instead was a species that refused to yield, that fought with not just advanced weapons, but with cunning, creativity, and an indomitable spirit. The battle for Earth had become a crucible, forging humanity into something new, a force that the galaxy would soon learn to respect, and perhaps even fear. As the conflict reached its crescendo, with the fate of Earth and perhaps the galaxy hanging in the balance, one thing became clear. Humanity's greatest strength lay not in borrowed alien technology, but in the very qualities that had allowed them to survive and thrive on their volatile homeworld for millennia. The Void Hunters were about to learn a painful lesson about underestimating the power of human ingenuity and determination. The counterattack. As the battle for Earth raged on, the planet's surface became a patchwork of devastation and desperate resistance. The Void Hunters, though caught off guard by humanity's tenacity, were slowly but surely gaining ground. Humanity needed a game-changer, and fast. In the heart of the Global Defense Network's command center, Dr. Samantha Chen worked feverishly alongside a team of human and Arcanian scientists. Her idea of overloading the Void Hunters with information had evolved into something far more ambitious. "It's ready," she announced, her voice hoarse from exhaustion. "We're calling it the cognitive bomb." General Harding raised an eyebrow. "Explain." Samantha gestured to a complex holographic display. "We've compressed the entirety of human knowledge, culture, and experience into a quantum data package. When detonated in proximity to Void Hunter forces, it will flood their systems with more information than they can process." Zora, the Arcanian representative, looked concerned. "The risk is enormous. If they manage to absorb all that data—" "They won't," Samantha insisted. "Human history is filled with contradictions, with competing ideologies and conflicting truths. Our strength lies in our ability to hold these contradictions in our minds. The Void Hunters, for all their power, lack that flexibility." President Martinez, her face haggard from sleepless nights, nodded gravely. "Do it, but we need to take the fight to them. We can't risk detonating this weapon on Earth." The plan came together quickly. Earth would launch a desperate counteroffensive, taking the battle to the heart of the Void Hunter fleet. It was a gamble, but with the planet's fate hanging in the balance, there was no other choice. Captain Miguel Reyes stood on the bridge of the EDF Intrepid, now the flagship of Earth's battered but unbowed fleet. Beside him stood Kex, his Arcanian first officer. The viewscreen showed the intimidating mass of the Void Hunter mothership. "All ships report ready, Captain," Kex announced, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Reyes took a deep breath. "Then let's make history, for Earth." The human Arcanian fleet surged forward, unleashing a barrage of weapons fire that lit up the darkness of space. The Void Hunters, caught off guard by the suddenness and ferocity of the attack, scrambled to respond. On the ground, Major Rachel Torres led a squadron of Titans in a daring assault on a Void Hunter ground base. The mechs moved with impossible grace, their pilots' enhanced reflexes allowing them to dance between enemy energy beams. "Push them back," Rachel shouted, her voice amplified by the Titan's speakers. "We need to clear a path for the bombers." As the space and ground battles raged, a small, stealthy ship slipped past the Void Hunter defenses. On board were Dr. Chen Zara and a hand-picked team of specialists. Their mission, to infiltrate the Void Hunter mothership and detonate the cognitive bomb at its heart. The insertion was harrowing. Samantha, more accustomed to laboratories and combat zones, found herself ducking energy blasts and navigating alien corridors. Zara moved with fluid grace, her knowledge of Void Hunter systems proving invaluable. "We're close," Zara whispered, gesturing to a massive door ahead. "That's their central processing core, the perfect place to detonate the bomb." As they approached, alarms blared. A voice, cold and inhuman, echoed through the ship. "Intruders detected. Prepare for assimilation." The team found themselves surrounded by Void Hunter drones, their weapon arms humming with deadly energy. Samantha clutched the cognitive bomb, her heart racing. This was it. Do or die. Suddenly, the ship rocked with a massive explosion. Captain Reyes' voice crackled over the comms. "Dr. Chen, we've breached their outer defenses. Whatever you're going to do it now." In that moment of confusion, Samantha saw her chance. She lunged forward, slipping past the drones and into the core chamber. The sight that greeted her was awe-inspiring. A vast, pulsating mass of energy and information, the collective knowledge of countless consumed civilizations. With trembling hands, she activated the cognitive bomb. As the device hummed to life, pouring the sum total of human experience into the Void Hunter systems, Samantha felt a moment of doubt. What if it wasn't enough? The effect was immediate and catastrophic. The core writhed and pulsed, overwhelmed by the flood of data. Scenes from human history flashed across its surface. Triumphs and tragedies, love and hate, creation and destruction. Zara grabbed Samantha's arm. "We need to go, now." As they ran for their lives, the mothership began to tear itself apart. The Void Hunters, their systems overloaded by the complexity and contradictions of human experience, fell into disarray. In space, Captain Reyes watched in awe as the massive Void Hunter ships began to drift aimlessly. "All ships, press the advantage," he ordered. "Show them what humanity is made of." On Earth, the Void Hunter ground forces suddenly found themselves without guidance. The human and Arcanian defenders, sensing the shift in the tide of battle, launched a fierce counterattack. As the dust settled and the last Void Hunter ships were either destroyed or neutralized, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Humanity had done the impossible. They had faced an enemy that had consumed entire civilizations and emerged victorious. In the aftermath, as the people of Earth began the long process of rebuilding, a new sense of unity and purpose spread across the planet. Humanity had been tested in the fires of an interstellar war and had not been found wanting. Samantha stood with Zara, watching the sunrise over a scared but unbroken Earth. "What happens now?" she asked. Zara's eyes, filled with a mix of sorrow and hope, met Samantha's. "Now, my friend, we build a new future. Together." As news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, other alien civilizations that had hidden from the Void Hunters for millennia began to emerge. Earth, once dismissed as a primitive backwater, now stood as a beacon of hope and resilience. The silent invasion that had begun with the arrival of the Arcanian refugees had transformed into something none could have predicted, the birth of a new galactic power. Humanity, with its unique blend of adaptability, creativity, and sheer determination, had earned its place among the stars. And as the first human-led expeditions prepared to venture into the depths of space, the galaxy watched with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. The species that had laughed at Earth was now holding its breath, wondering what these unpredictable, indomitable humans would do next. The heart of the storm. In the months following Earth's victory over the Void Hunters, the planet buzzed with activity. The scars of war were slowly healing, and humanity's gaze turned outward to the stars with newfound confidence and curiosity. Dr. Samantha Chen found herself at the center of a new initiative, the Galactic Outreach Program. As she prepared for a crucial meeting, she couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. "Ready for this?" asked Zara, her Arcanian friend and colleague. Samantha nodded, straightening her uniform. "As ready as I'll ever be." They entered a vast chamber in the newly constructed United Earth Government headquarters. Representatives from a dozen alien species sat around a circular table, their eyes fixed on the human delegation. President Martinez stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth. Just a year ago, we thought we were alone in the universe. Today, we stand as partners in shaping the future of our galaxy." The alien delegates murmured among themselves. An avian being with iridescent feathers spoke up. "We have all heard tales of your victory over the Void Hunters, a feat many thought impossible. But now we must ask, what are your intentions? Will Earth become a new empire, seeking to dominate as the Void Hunters did?" Samantha felt the weight of the moment. Earth's response would set the tone for their place in galactic politics. She stepped forward, her voice clear and confident. "Earth seeks neither domination nor empire," she began. "We fought for our survival, yes, but also for the right of all sentient beings to exist free from fear. We propose a galactic alliance where knowledge and resources are shared for the betterment of all." The chamber erupted in discussion. Some delegates seemed eager to ally with the powerful newcomers, while others remained skeptical. As the debate raged, an alarm suddenly blared. General Harding's voice came over the comms. "We're detecting massive energy signatures. Multiple Void Hunter ships have just appeared in the Kuiper Belt." The room fell silent. The threat they thought vanquished had returned. President Martinez's face hardened. It seems our work is not yet done. Will you sound with us? The alien delegates exchanged glances. The avian beings stood. The ethereal stand with Earth. One by one, the other species pledged their support. In the face of a common enemy, the seeds of the Galactic Alliance were sown. As the newly formed alliance prepared for battle, a startling discovery was made. Captain Miguel Reyes, now Admiral of Earth's growing fleet, reported in. The Void Hunter ships, they're not attacking, they're sending a transmission. In the command center, all eyes turned to the main screen. A figure appeared, humanoid but clearly artificial. Its voice was a discordant blend of countless assimilated beings. Humans of Earth, you have proven unique, resilient. We offer a choice. Join us. Add your distinctiveness to our own, or face annihilation. The room erupted in fierce debate. Some argued for immediate attack, others for negotiation. But Dr. Chen saw an opportunity. We need to understand them, she insisted. If we can communicate, maybe we can find a peaceful solution. After heated discussion, a daring plan was formed. A small team would infiltrate the Void Hunter flagship, not to attack, but to establish direct contact, to understand the heart of the storm that had nearly destroyed them. Samantha found herself leading the mission, alongside Zara, Major Rachel Torres, and a diverse team of human and alien specialists. As their stealth ship approached the massive Void Hunter vessel, Samantha's heart raced. Remember, she told her team, we're not here to fight. We're here to understand. They docked with the alien ship, the silence of space giving way to the eerie hum of Void Hunter technology. As they made their way through twisting corridors, they encountered no resistance. It was as if they were expected. Finally, they reached the core of the ship. A vast chamber opened before them, filled with swirling energy and countless suspended bodies, the assimilated remnants of civilizations past. At the center stood the figure from the transmission. Up close, Samantha could see the conflict in its eyes, a war between countless absorbed minds. Why? Samantha asked, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. Why do you destroy entire worlds? The being tilted its head, as if the question was unexpected. We seek perfection, unity. Each civilization we absorb brings us closer to understanding the universe. Rachel's hand tightened on her weapon, by destroying everything in your path. Individuality is chaos, the being replied. We bring order, purpose. Zara stepped forward, but at what cost? You've lost the very thing that makes life worth living, the beauty of diversity of individual experience. The being seemed to struggle, conflicting voices rising within it. Your cognitive bomb, it showed us something we had not considered. Complexity. Contradiction. We do not understand. Samantha saw her chance. Then let us show you. Not through assimilation, but through cooperation. Join our alliance. Learn from us as equals. For a moment, the chamber was silent. Then, slowly, the swirling energy began to coalesce. The suspended bodies stirred. We accept, the being said, its voice now a harmonious blend rather than a discordant clash. We will learn, we will change. As the team relayed the news to the waiting fleet, a sense of awe settled over them. They had come seeking to understand their enemy, and in doing so, had transformed them into something new. The return to Earth was met with both celebration and trepidation. The integration of the reformed Void Hunters into the Galactic Alliance would not be easy, but it represented a new chapter in the history of the galaxy. As Samantha stood before the Alliance Council, explaining the outcome of their mission, she realized that this was just the beginning. Humanity had not only survived its trial by fire, but had emerged as a force for change in the cosmos. The species that had once laughed at Earth now looked to it for leadership, for the unique human ability to face the impossible and find a way forward. The silent invasion that had begun with the Arcanians' arrival had set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the galaxy for millennia to come. As the council session ended and plans were made for the challenges ahead, Samantha gazed out at the star-filled sky. The universe, once a source of fear and uncertainty, now beckoned with endless possibilities. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. A new dawn for the galaxy. 5 years had passed since the integration of the reformed Void Hunters into the Galactic Alliance. Earth, once a backwater planet unknown to the cosmos, had become the beating heart of a new interstellar community. The Lunar Diplomatic Center, built on Earth's moon, stood as a symbol of this new era, a place where representatives from hundreds of species came together to shape the future of the galaxy. Dr. Samantha Chen, now serving as Earth's chief ambassador to the Alliance, stood at the podium in the Grand Assembly Hall. The room was filled with a dizzying array of alien life forms, from the crystalline luminae to the gaseous nebulons. Among them sat the reformed Void Hunters, their once monolithic consciousness now a harmonious blend of countless cultures. Distinguished delegates, Samantha began, her voice carrying across the chamber. Today marks the 5th anniversary of the Galactic Concordat. We gather not just to celebrate our achievements, but to face the challenges that lie ahead. As she spoke, holographic displays flickered to life, showing the progress made across the galaxy. Dead worlds were being revitalized, ancient conflicts resolved, and scientific breakthroughs shared across species lines. The Alliance had ushered in an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. In the outer reaches of the galaxy, reports had surfaced of a new threat, the Silence, a mysterious force that seemed to swallow entire star systems, leaving nothing but empty space in its wake. We face a new challenge, Samantha continued, her tone grave. One that will test the strength of our alliance and the principles we stand for. But if our history has taught us anything, it's that together, we can overcome any obstacle. As the assembly debated strategies to confront the Silence, Samantha couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. She remembered the day the Arcanians arrived, how Earth had trembled in fear of the unknown. Now, humans worked alongside hundreds of alien species, their unique perspectives and abilities combining to achieve wonders once thought impossible. After the session, Samantha met with her closest allies and friends. Zora, the Arcanian who had first sought Earth's help, now served as the Alliance's chief scientist. Captain, now Fleet Admiral, Miguel Reyes led the combined fleet of the Alliance, and Major Rachel Torres had become the commander of the Titan Corps, an elite unit that combined the best of human and alien combat techniques. The Silence is unlike anything we've faced before, Zora said, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with concern. It doesn't seem to consume or destroy. It just erases. Rachel nodded grimly. Conventional weapons are useless against it. We need a new approach. As they discussed potential strategies, a thought occurred to Samantha. What if we're looking at this the wrong way? We've been trying to fight the Silence, but what if we should be trying to communicate with it? The idea was met with skepticism at first, but as they debated, a plan began to form. They would assemble a team, not just of soldiers and scientists, but of linguists, philosophers, and artists from across the Alliance. Their mission would be to try and understand the Silence, to find a way to reach out to it. As preparations for this unprecedented expedition got underway, Samantha found herself back on Earth, standing in the rebuilt Hayden Planetarium where her journey had begun. The night sky above was no longer just a distant, unreachable wonder. It was a familiar landscape, filled with worlds and civilizations she had come to know. Quite a view, isn't it? A familiar voice said behind her. Samantha turned to see President Martinez, now in her final year of office, approach. Madam President, Samantha greeted her with a smile. I didn't expect to see you here. Martinez gazed up at the stars. I wanted to remind myself of where we started. Sometimes I can hardly believe how far we've come. Samantha nodded. We've achieved so much, but there's still so much to do. The silence will be faced like every other challenge, with courage, ingenuity, and unity, Martinez finished. You know, when I first took office, I never imagined I'd be presiding over Earth's entry into a galactic community. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's to never underestimate humanity's capacity for adaptation and growth. As they stood there, contemplating the vastness of space and the journey ahead, Samantha felt a surge of pride and determination. Earth had faced extinction and emerged stronger. They had turned ancient enemies into allies and built bridges across the cosmos. Whatever the silence represented, she was confident that together they would find a way to overcome it. The next day, as Samantha boarded the ship that would take her and the Alliance team to the edge of known space, she took one last look at Earth. The blue planet, once thought to be an insignificant speck in the universe, now stood as a beacon of hope and unity for countless civilizations. The ship's engines hummed to life, and as they lifted off, Samantha thought about the long journey that had led to this moment. From the silent invasion of the Arcanians to the existential threat of the Void Hunters, each challenge had shaped humanity, forging them into a species ready to take their place among the stars. As Earth faded from view and the ship prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed, Samantha smiled. The galaxy had once laughed at Earth, dismissing it as a primitive, inconsequential world. Now that same galaxy looked to Earth and humanity for leadership, innovation, and hope. The silent invasion had become a cosmic revolution, and humanity was at its heart. As they sped towards the unknown, ready to face whatever mysteries and dangers the silence might hold, Samantha knew one thing for certain: the greatest chapter in human history was just beginning. The stars beckoned, and humanity, hand in hand with their alien allies, was ready to answer the call. The laughter had long since faded, replaced by respect, admiration, and the shared excitement of facing the universe's grandest challenges together. And so, as the ship vanished into the depths of space, Earth continued its journey, no longer a silent, unknown world, but the vibrant heart of a galactic community, forever changed by the courage and spirit of the humans who called it home.